All right, I am recording. Okay. I do not like this marker. Is that your best California accent? It's like 100 degrees. Okay. All right, so I'm going to be writing on this paper. And on the back side of my graph paper, you can write this on your red graph paper if you decided to use red, or in your notebook if you decided to use your notebook. But the graphs have to be on graph paper. The rest can be in your notebook or on graph paper, your choice. This is 4.1. And this is making a graph using a table. Anybody already remember how to do this? If giving an equation, you could make a table and a graph?
Maybe.
Hands up if you feel like, yeah, I think I could. Okay. All right, today is 12/19. It is my daughter's birthday today. She is 10 years old.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Penny.
Happy birthday, PW.
She is PW. Happy birthday, PW. Okay. So example 1 is going to be a pretty simple equation. Let's go with y equals negative 2x minus 3. All right, now eventually it is fine if you start taking shortcuts with this stuff. You remember how, like, when we were solving equations, I would make you put that line down the middle?
Yeah.
And then after a while I said you don't have to put that line down the middle anymore if you don't want to, and some of you kept it and some of you got rid of it. Same thing. Our table here is going to have inputs and outputs and some work in the middle, and at the beginning I'm going to make you show all of your work in the middle, and then when we get further along you can skip that step if you don't need it. Okay? All right. I am going to write right here. Over here is going to be inputs. Here will be your work. And here will be outputs. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4. That is 6 more rows. Okay. When you're doing an input into an equation with an x and a y, which variable usually stands for the input? X. X is usually our input. Our work is going to be an equation, and this equation is y equals negative 2x minus 3. And what is our output going to be? Y. All right, now I'm going to be really specific about what inputs I want you to use. Everybody look up. Negative 2 through 2, whole numbers. So negative 2, negative 1, 0, 1, and 2 are the inputs that we're going to use. And we're going to do that with every single one. All right, how do I input negative 2 into this equation? Austin. Right, so it'd be negative 2, because that's a negative 2 right there, times a negative 2, because that's the input, minus 3. What's a negative 2 times a negative 2? 4. And then 4 minus 3 is? 1. If I had to write this as a point, as an input and an output point, what would I write?
0, 1.
Nope.
Negative 1.
Negative 2 is what I inputted, and my output was 1, so negative 2, 1. All right, let's try again. Negative 2 times negative 1 minus 3. I'm just using the exact same equation again, but what did I change this time? The input is now negative 1. Negative 2 times negative 1 is? 2. 2 minus 3 is negative 1. So what should I write for this one? If I input negative 1, I get out negative 1. What should I write for my work for the next one? Go ahead. Negative 2 times. Good. Minus 3. How did you know to put 0 in there? Because the 0 is right here. That's the x. That's the input. That's what we're inputting in. Negative 2 times 0 is 0. 0 minus 3 is negative 3. What's the point for this one? 0, negative 3. Y'all feel like we're getting this? Negative 2 times, what should I write this time? 1. Do I still write minus 3 over here? Why? Why do I always write minus 3? Because that's the equation up here. By the way, this right here, this on the top, this section right here, that's just notes. That's just to tell you what things are. I don't expect you to write that on top of every one. I expect it to look like this every time. That and below. This is just notes right now to kind of tell you what things are. Negative 2 times 1 is negative 2. Negative 2 minus 3 is negative 5. This point is 1, negative 5. All right, negative 2 times 2 minus 3. What does that end up being? Negative 7, which is 2, negative 7. Okay, what do you do? Because there are some of you in here who are having issues with adding and subtracting positive and negative numbers, right? Okay, and that's okay. We're working at it. We're getting better all the time. But what if you're struggling with that? What do you need to do for this assignment especially? Use a calculator. Don't just guess or you're going to have lots of wrong answers. All right, now we're going to graph these 5 points. I'm going to do it on the other side because I have that one kind. If you have the red paper, you're going to switch to the red paper now. And we're going to graph these 5 points. So this is example 1. I'm going to draw a quick graph. When you draw a graph for me, things that are important to me are as follows. I definitely want to see both axes. I definitely want you to label them X and Y. Do you think I'm going to make you write down what every little mark means? No. Except, when would I possibly have you write down what every little mark means? Anybody know? No. If it's not 1, okay? So these right now, these marks, which I'm just drawing to make them really clear because I'm on a document camera and it's hard to see. You do not have to be doing this right now. It's just hard to see it on the document camera. I'm not going to write 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. If you're going by 1s, you don't have to write it down. If you go by 2s or by 10s, then you do. Does that seem fair? Yes. I'm going to assume that if you didn't write a scale on your drawing that you're going by 1s. All right, so the first point I'm going to graph is negative 2, 1. So negative 2 on the X, 1 on the Y. And then negative 1, negative 1. Zero, negative 3. 1, negative 5. And 2, negative 7. Okay. Go ahead and connect them. Can somebody tell me why this would be a continuous line and not a discrete? Why wouldn't it just be made up of dots? We only graphed 5 dots. Why would I connect them?
Because if you use decimals, it'd still be this.
Yes, it would still work because, like, if I said, like, could I technically on here, could I have inputted 0.5? Yeah. Sure, or 0.2 or 0.25681. Any input would do, which means it's a line. You should get a prize for that. Nice job. All right, how are we feeling?
Awesome.
Are we okay going from a equation to a table to a graph?
Yes.
Great. All right, we're going to try one with your partner right now. So this one is going to be worth a prize for the two of you. All right. Everybody look up. Write down y minus 5 equals 2x. Now, before we begin, I want to make this one a little easier, so I need your help. Can somebody tell me what's the difference between that example 1 and example 2? What looks different about them? Besides the numbers. Yeah?